Jari Askins was the Sooner State's 15th lieutenant governor, the second woman and the first female Democrat in that office.
Most recently, she was Cameron University's interim president. We have a feeling retirement is not on the horizon, but we'll find out as we visit with her today. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you all for inviting me.
Well, you and I have intertwined over the years for so much at the seasons of your life. But before we get into where you're going, let's talk about where you've been. What has been the most rewarding part of Jari Askins' life?
You know, I used to be able to say whatever job I was doing at the time was my favorite, but there's no doubt that being elected lieutenant governor in 2006 was the best, because 2007 was Oklahoma's centennial. And so I had the opportunity to celebrate with communities large and small all around the state as they and their citizens figured out ways to show their pride in their communities and in Oklahoma.
Will you currently throw your hat into the governor's election?
You know, I'm not wearing a hat today. Not expecting that to happen at all. You know, sometimes one of the things I learned kind of the last 9 years while I had a chance to work for the Oklahoma Supreme Court as the director of state courts was that sometimes at the state capitol you can have influence without having to have a title, without having to have position. And so the opportunity to be able to take the culmination of so many different jobs and viewpoints of state government and go and work on certain issues, I think gave me an opportunity to have people give me credibility. I mean, trust what I said, because I wasn't trying to run for another office. And if I can continue to have any kind of influence, I'll certainly try to use what I've learned to do that.
How do you describe today's political climate in Oklahoma?
I think I'm disappointed. We've always had different divisions, but there was a time when I was serving that we would have said that the biggest divisions, the biggest fights in Oklahoma City were either between Tulsa and Oklahoma City, or they were between urban and rural. And unfortunately, that's not particularly what's happening now. I think we've become much more a mirror of what happens in Washington, D.C., and I didn't used to feel that way. I think you will continue to find that the legislators from Southwest Oklahoma will always band together for what's right for this area. We've seen that time and time again, and many times they have to band together with other rural parts of the state to make their voices heard over the more populated areas.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In some circles, you've been referred to as an Oklahoma legend. How do you feel about that, and do you plan to live it out?
You know, I have no idea who started that, but I hope there's an opportunity for me to leave as good an impression as our dear friend Governor Nye has from his life of service. And he is certainly a role model that I wish more elected officials would follow. But I just feel so blessed and so fortunate to have had people who gave me opportunities. The voters of Southwest Oklahoma have given me opportunity after opportunity, and I hope that I have been able to represent them well in whatever capacity I've held.
You know, in our time that we have left, you had a lot of connection with Governor Nye.
Yeah.
What would you like to say on the day of his passing?
I think he was my biggest cheerleader when I was lieutenant governor, having served in the office himself. And he just set such a great example of caring for all of Oklahoma, no matter where you came from. And I'm grateful for that example.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Right. Barrett?